episode 230.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie. And big warm welcome to any new viewers. And a big warm thank you to return viewers.
We appreciate it every week.
We do appreciate it. So, shout outs. I just want to clarify, and I better clarify this with Cooperative Press too. We're going to review Spilly Jane Knits Mittens, or some. Is that what it's called?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's a Spilly Jane mitten book from Cooperative Press. We're going to review that next week after the contest for our current book review ends. I think I might have told Cooperative Press I was doing it this week, but I'm not doing it this week.
Yeah, so. Spilly Jane Knits Mittens.
Spilly Jane Knits Mittens. That's what I thought it was. That's our next review. We have 4 books that we're reviewing over the course of the next 8 weeks, because it'll be 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks. A book review, a not book review, a book review, a not book review. And we'll give away a copy of each book after we review it. So tune in next week to hear about Spilly Jane Knits Mittens. And don't forget to join in the contest to win the River Ganses book by Penelope Lister Hemingway. So that's currently running in our Ravelry thread.
Okay, another shout out is the fact that we are doing a hat knit along crochet along for the months of November and December, right?
No. For the
October and November.
We're taking Christmas off.
We're taking December off. That's what it was. So any hats, any size.
As long as they were started in the month of October and November.
No, ended.
Ended, sorry.
Start them at any point. You can end them.
Talk about anything.
Apparently not. End them in October or November. And we have a separate thread for the Baa-ble hat that is really popular right now. So if you knit a Baa-ble hat, enter it on that thread and our hat. You can double dip.
You can do both for that one.
And I've cast one on. I'll show you.
Yeah, and I'm going to cast one on eventually, just not right yet.
So, yeah, that's it, I think, for our shout-outs, right?
I think that's it for shout-outs. Yeah, I just looked, and that's everything I have written down. On the dance card, I have literally just cast on for my Rhinebeck Cowl that I'm designing. It's going to be a tube with color work that is joined together at the end, so the inside is all inside the tube. And I'm going to make, using an oak leaf colorwork design from a free pattern called October Leaves Socks. I'm going to use this gradient yarn from Fiber Optic, and I'm going to knit it on a background of this color blue from Into the World. And the thing is, because I'm going to end up sewing or Kitchenering the tube ends together, I have to do a provisional cast on. And so for people who aren't familiar with that, I like to do my big provisional cast. If I'm doing a few stitches provisionally, I'll use Judy's Magic Cast On, but instead of using 2 needles, I'll use a piece of scrap yarn in the needle, and I'll do Judy's Magic over that. It works the same, basically. But for something like this where I'm casting on like 100 stitches, I like to crochet a chain. And then if you look at a crochet chain and you turn it around, there are little bumps on the back, and you pick up each little bump and you knit through it. And then when you're ready to make these stitches live again, you just undo the crochet chain and you have your live stitches. So that's what I'm doing. I guess that's all I really have to say. There's only like 12 stitches cast on so far, so if you see me over here while Sheila's talking, that's what I'm doing. I'm picking up stitches with my needles and casting them on. I am planning on casting on 99 stitches because my leaf motif that I'm using is 9 stitches long.
Are you going to do 10 repeats?
Yep.
Give or take.
Give or take. Actually, 11.
Yeah, but you got to think about your sleevage or slovage or
selvage. I don't need any selvage. It's going to be a tube.
There's no.
There's a built-in like rust color, so that they're not all on top of each other. And since I'm knitting the tube.
Okay. Yep.
And I'll just make sure that the transition thing, when I Kitchener it together, is in the inside of it. So it should be good. It'll all work out. And I was telling Sheila I might write this up and put it up as a free pattern when I'm done with it for anyone who's interested. So I will let you know how that goes. For some reason, I've been like writing patterns again. I don't know what happened. I think you know what it is? I think that my attitude is more positive and I feel less depressed.
That's good.
So anyway, that's all I have on the dance card right now, actively.
Okay. I have a couple of things active on the dance card. I'm actually right in the middle of one right now. I just bound off for my eyes on my Jackyl and Hyde mask, which I'm just trying to talk through it. So I'm using Encore. I don't know what I'm using.
Plymouth Encore.
Thank you. I couldn't think of what it is. Plymouth Encore. It's a worsted weight. It's actually very nice to knit with. It's a mixture of acrylic and wool.
I like Plymouth Encore. It's an acrylic blend yarn that feels very nice.
75% acrylic, 25% wool. I originally got these to do socks on a smaller gauge needle. No, I couldn't do it. It did squeak. But as a worsted project for like hats, I think it's really good. I'm using gray and red. I thought maybe I could do one color for it, but this is the Jackyl and Hyde. It's a very large knitting. It covers your neck.
Yeah.
And it's a ski mask, or will be. I'm just casting on something. Anyways. So I did the bottom mostly red because really that's going to be underneath. You're not going to see it. And then I'm going to do striping for the face. My kids don't care. That's a good thing. My kids really don't care. I don't know who does that off the top of my head. It's a free pattern from Knitty. We had a viewer ask us where we get our patterns, or more, we should clarify our patterns more often, I guess. Something. Basically, we're not giving you enough information where we get the patterns. Most of you know we do all of our patterns from Ravelry, but this is a free pattern from Knitty.com. Just do Jackyl and Hyde for a search, or hats for a search. I don't remember.
But I would say probably 90% of what we knit is purchased or downloaded as a free download through the site Ravelry.com, www.ravelry.com.
Jackyl and Hyde is by Saskia de Fader. And like I said, it's something that you can get on Knitty.com.
That's www.knitty.com.
And it's from fall 2007.
And they have a pattern database that you can search, so you can look through that, or you can type in Jackyl and Hyde. And then if you want to get patterns on Ravelry, it's free to join Ravelry. So you sign up for free, and then you have access to the pattern store. So you can search the database. You could search for hats if you wanted to, and you can see all the hat patterns. You can even tell it you only want to see the free ones. Mm-hmm. And then you can download those patterns for free if they're available that way right onto your computer. And if you want to buy a pattern, you can click on the pattern and it will tell you how to purchase it using PayPal. So it's a pretty handy website. If you're not on Ravelry, you should really check it out. It's very easy to navigate. The owners have spent a lot of time making it a very accessible website.
There's over 4 million people who have joined. And actually on my way home today on the shuttle bus, there were people who were talking about it in crocheting, which I don't do. But it was funny that, we were talking about it.
But that's where most of the patterns that we use are referenced. And whenever a pattern is linked in our show notes, I link it to the page on Ravelry, where you can either download it for free, buy it, or get a link to where you can get it. So if you go and watch us on our website, which is www.knit1heart, HEART 2 TOO.blogspot.com, and you look on the show note for the episode that you're interested in learning about the pattern, I have linked every single pattern. You click right to Ravelry. So if you join Ravelry, then all you have to do is click on the link. It takes you right to the pattern page, and you can get it immediately if that's what you want to do. So,
yeah, so
hopefully that helps.
Yes, I hope so. If you do a Google search, too, for the pattern, you would probably most likely get a link somewhere, maybe possibly to Ravelry as well.
Yeah.
But so mine is the Jackyl and Hyde, and this is what it looks like. I am doing a modified version of it. Instead of doing 2 individual holes, I am doing 1 hole.
Like an oval hole, more like a...
More of a, a
lozenge. I don't know.
Balaclava?
Yes. Balaclava.
Something similar, but it's my kids just like it this way. So that's what I'm doing. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And hopefully, since I'm right here, it shouldn't take me too much longer to finish the rest of the hat. I just want to get it off the needles.
Yeah.
Not like we need it right now.
No.
But this is also what I also like about this hat, not that my kids ever use it in this fashion, is you can use it as a hat as well.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like as a hat.
It's a really...
It's a flexible little thing.
Flexible.
This is what it looks like as a hat. What you do is you just fold it up and under. It's cute. Actually, you fold it so that it goes like this, so that if you need to pull it down, you just pull it down.
Yeah, it's a great...
So that is one thing that's on the needles. I'm almost done with my red. I think I have just this much left. So I'll probably finish with the gray. And then the second thing is I did cast on for my Baa-ble hat. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the...
While she's doing that, I'll tell you, I did put the pattern for the Baa-ble hat on my phone where I do all my patterns from, and I did do a note on the pattern in Goodreader, incorporating all of Susan B. Anderson's tips so that when I knit it, I can follow her directions. So I am ready to do it. I have to pick out the yarn.
I have it both on my phone and on my iPad, depending on where I am. And I have it, Susan B. Anderson's blog post.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Bookmarked.
I
did print out her blog post with the, I just...
Yeah, I actually did if you have Goodreader, you can do a sticky note on your PDF.
Oh, okay.
And you click on it, and I typed in the stuff that I was going to use in there. So that anytime I ever pull that pattern up now, it has that saved in it so that I don't have to
fool around with it.
Yeah.
So this is the Baa-ble hat. This is one of the versions of it.
So cute.
It is cute. It's really, it's the hot item at the moment. 1,300 projects have been done.
Wow.
I know when we started looking, there was only 700, so that tells you how quickly it blew up. And I'd have to say, Rhinebeck probably was a big proponent of that because
there
you
was
saw
a lot of them at
Rhinebeck. And it was cool enough to wear it.
Yeah.
So that's what the Baa-ble hat is, and that's by Donna Smith. You can get it through, when you go to Ravelry, there's a link on uploading or signing up for the Shetland Wool Week newsletter, and that's how you get it. Don't ask for anyone to send it because it's not a pattern that you can just get.
Yeah.
They may change that.
Maybe they will now that it's become so popular. The other thing to know is it sometimes can take a few days for them to send you the newsletter. And you might want to check your spam filter in case it somehow got caught in there. So, but you should, you shouldn't be asking people that have it to give it to you. You should really ask the newsletter to send it to you directly.
So I just cast on. I'm using Susan B. Anderson's hints. I'm using a larger needle, even though I'm using Cascade 220.
Which is a light worsted.
It's a light worsted. I'm using size 7 for the cuff, and then you go up to size 8. Because it's stranded, I think it's going to be warm enough.
Yeah, I think.
And I'm going to do the longer cuff, brim.
Yeah.
I'm thinking cuff. Longer brim, because I think for me, folding it up will be better.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put a pom-pom, because again, it will help.
That shape, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm going to put a pom-pom on mine, too.
And I'm going to do the multicolored pom-poms.
Oh, I think that's cute.
So I'm using this blue. It doesn't look really accurate. This is more of a... you're better off.
It's more of a green blue. It's more skewed to the warm side. It's not really a cold blue. It's like a teal almost. Not,
Yeah.
It's just it's a warm blue. It's not a cold blue.
And then I'm using yellow for the top.
See, that would be really pretty.
I think so. And
And
then
what color are the sheep's going
the
to be?
sheep are going to be white. I have plenty of white.
Yeah.
And then I have some black left over.
For the
So this is all stash yarn, which I love. I love getting rid of, not getting rid of. I love using stuff from stash.
That's why I haven't cast mine on yet, because I just cleaned out my upstairs where we had stashed everything during our renovations. And I have a laundry basket full of stuff that has to be put away. Yarn. That's just yarn and fiber that has to be put away that was not put away. And when I pull out the worsted bag, I'm going to take out all the scraps I have and put together a color scheme for it. So, and that's why that hasn't been on the needles, because it will take me like an hour or two to do that. So I just haven't had time yet. So I'm excited to see how they come out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It was funny. I was showing my husband the hat. He goes, "Oh, that's good." He goes, "Oh, that looks really intricate." And I'm like, "I've done something like this before." And I showed him my other stuff. He goes, "That's not the same." I'm like, "All right, so it's got more colors in it?" Because I've done the piece hat and I've done the ribbon hat.
But on every row, you're never probably going to have more than three colors.
Not even.
Not
just,
even.
I think
it's just
two colors for each row, which is
Yeah.
a typical stranded hat.
Yeah.
Happened. So he likes it. Maybe guess what he asked me to knit him?
What?
Sweater.
Good luck with that.
I said, "You don't like wool?" He goes, "No, you can knit me a cotton sweater." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it'll be a dead body."
That sounds so awful. Don't do it.
I don't think that's right.
That's way smaller than it looked.
I know. Sorry,
I think it needs to be double that.
Yeah. All right.
That looks like if you have a Cyclops kid who just has one eye.
know.
If you have a kid with one eye, this would work out great.
I don't know.
See? It's good for one eye.
I don't know why I was thinking.
When you had it, it looked a lot bigger.
I know, it did. I don't know.
So, yeah.
All right. So
And that needs to be longer.
we're pausing
at least by.
We're skipping every now and again.
We
Sorry.
are.
We are. It hesitates. I hope that doesn't translate into.
Yeah.
We'll
Sometimes my computer has issues. I have one date to rate. I finished my ribbon candy socks out of Mustache Yarns in the Nutcracker Candy colorway. Here they are. As you can see, they are matching because this was an OCD skein, so it is.
It's pretty.
The same. You can even to the top. You can see where the red comes in on the top. It's very close. I did not have the skein with me when I started the ribbing, so the ribbing might start a little bit less on one.
Now that I see
it started a little bit
I see it
higher.
now that you say it, but you're never going to see that. That's going to be underneath you.
Well, I'm not that worried about it. But this is the pattern that I designed, and I have it written up. And I was just talking to Sheila today. I'm probably going to release it without test knitting it since I've knit it myself. I will put a notice on that so that people know it hasn't necessarily been test knit. So if you do purchase this pattern, you can let me know if you find something wrong with it. But I'm going to tech edit it before I send it out. So it should be okay. But I really enjoyed knitting this. I think this sock pattern would look well. I'm trying to get it so you can see the detail. I think it would look pretty on a semi-solid.
I think it would, yeah.
And it might even look good on variegated yarn, but heavily variegated might kind of conflict with the, might not be able to see the detail so much. This sock is nice because there are stretches of just plain where you can really see the stitch definition of the, there you go, that's a good view of it. But it was fun to knit. Again, it's a real simple thing to do, to take a small, this actually turns out to be an 8-stitch design that goes up there. I thought it was 10, but I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I thought it was 10. I guess I just guessed it. And the pattern will also give you some tips on how you can take your own stitch pattern and make a sock like this for yourself. It doesn't have to even be the one that I picked.
Oh, good.
And it will also give my standard sock instructions that I always use. But yeah, the OCD skein, if you are really into having your socks match up exactly, this is what you want to use.
I was looking at your mom. Is your mom like that?
If you want your stripes to match exactly, these are OCD skein. You start them and they're exactly the same.
I know, but I don't care.
Oh, all right. I thought you did. No?
I thought you were.
First time I made.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
We're teasing her, but no longer
an issue. We're teasing her for a non-issue now.
Yep. Sorry, Ma. So that's all I have as rate your date.
I have a date to rate. A long-standing date. So back in February, I think I showed these last week too, is I used, I had a couple of sock blinks that they were from Knit Picks, and they're done 2 strands at a time so that you can knit 2 socks at a time. Well, I come to realize I do not like to knit my socks that way. So one of my sock blanks we took apart and we rolled, and I made some socks out of it. This one I decided that I would make almost like a worsted weight sock. And it comes out really nice. I don't think I'll do it again because it's almost too thick.
Yeah.
For my hands.
It's like a boot sock, really.
It is. Oh, it's definitely. This is not something I'm going to be wearing to work. This might be more of a house sock or a shoveling snow sock.
Yeah.
So what I did is I weighed the skein, and when my skill, worked, and stopped midway through so that I could make equal socks. And then afterwards, I just grabbed some generic Knit Picks and held that double. So this is Fish Lips Kiss Heel, vanilla sock, my usual recipe. I think there were 56 stitches. I knit maybe 2 inches from the heel and did a 3x3 ribbed on the top. I soaked them last night, and they're still damp actually. But soaking them released the tension, because obviously to held doubled, it's a little bit more of a tension. And I always love the look of a freshly blocked sock. I really do.
They do look nice.
But they smell like wet wool.
I don't want to smell them, thank you.
Well, wet wool and lavender.
Yeah.
So this is them. I'm actually looking forward to maybe wearing them on a cold weekend night.
Yeah.
Or
house socks.
Yeah.
It'd be good house
I'll have
socks.
to be careful in my house because I have wood floors.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
Especially after cooking. So so these are my dates rated. So it's funny because I weighed them and I was a little off. Just a little bit. You can just see like maybe a finger's worth.
Yeah.
And I counted the rows. Yeah, I think I did pretty good. Towards the end, I'm like, I don't care. I just want to get these done.
Well, the top part of the sock is under your pants, so that never really matters if there's a little weirdness up there.
The color to me kind of looks like bacon.
Yeah,
just
it
a
looks
little
like
bit.
bacon.
This
and
was
then the
dyed
top
for
part
me.
looks like candy.
Yeah,
it's
candy.
Like candy and bacon.
Well, isn't there like chocolate covered bacon out there somewhere?
I don't know. Probably.
I wouldn't doubt
there's
it.
everything made with bacon.
Yeah, ice
there.
cream. So I'm excited about these, but they're done.
And now you can move on to something you enjoy knitting. More that you're excited about starting.
Yeah, so I'll finish my hats and then I'll think about the next sock that I have to cast on. Because I brought this hat to work on, and I'm like, I can't bring the whole bag because the whole bag is this.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, so I need to cast on another
That's
sock.
the bag you got from Mama C.
I know, I love it. Ooh,
whoa.
Sorry. Because I was looking, I have a couple of larger knittings, my bags.
Yeah.
But they're all kind of occupied at the moment.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
One of them is, I think, going to be a frog.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a frog because I'm just not going to knit on that one. So
Look,
I got to frog that so that I can use my bag.
Now I have this much cast on. I still have a ways to go.
I was just going to say.
I have to count. But I think this will be a good...
How many stitches you casting on?
99.
99?
Mm-hmm.
You're not at 99.
No, not yet.
No, okay.
I'm probably at 99. I probably have like this much more to go.
Okay.
I knit more. I crocheted more. I always crochet more on my tail than
absolutely.
I need, just in case. And I went over by like 10 or 20 stitches. So.
I got yelled at my coworker today. So I cast on with a different needle last night. I thought it was my Knit Picks needle, but it was too big. I thought it would stretch. So then I was trying to transfer it to this needle so that I could just throw this in my bag. And I realized that I did knit 4 in one place instead of knit 2, purl 2.
Yeah.
So I'm like, screw this. So at lunch, I was casting on. She's like, what's this? She pulls out my tail. I said, it's a cast on. She goes, oh, that's far too much. I said, no, it's there. She goes, oh, yeah, you could cast on 200. How many are you casting on? I said, 88. She goes, far too much. She was right.
Well, yeah. I always either have way more or not enough.
Yeah. And if it's the yarn that I really need to have just a very specific because you don't want to waste it, then I re-rip it out. But this one, I have plenty. I'm like, break, throw it away. I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's what I usually do. I have a really long tail. I get it cast on, and then I cut off the excess. Yeah. And sometimes if it's a lot of excess, I'll throw it in the bag in case I need it for something. But
usually
I just toss it.
Mine's usually like this much. It's enough of an excess that you don't want it dangling.
Right.
Because then it gets caught in
everything.
So,
yeah. So
that's my
Rate Your Dates.
I believe. Yeah.
Whirlwind Romance. Whoops. What did I just do?
I was gonna say, would you like?
There was like a piece of hair that I like made go in a curl on my forehead in a weird way, and it was the opposite way of my part.
I know,
so it bothered me. Sorry about that. So, Whirlwind Romance, no.
You go in waves with that.
I do,
which is fine.
I do. So nothing to report on that front. Future dates. My future date is the Bauble hat. And like I said, I'm definitely using my white yarn that's flecked with it's like with hot pink and spring green. It's really bright color flecks in it that was dyed by a little girl at Maryland Sheep and Wool. I think it's called Lily's Yarn or something like that. The little girl's name was Lily. So that's definitely going to be the pom-pom and the sheep on my hat and the little like snowflakes or whatever they are, that little dots.
So you're going to try and find maybe contrasting yarn?
I don't know. I know I have some purple in my stash. I know I have some pink in my stash. I have some really bright blue like that in my stash. I have a ton of worsted stash. So...
See, and the thing, too, is with this, I know a lot of people are knitting the hat and some are, like, getting addicted to it. The problem is like, I haven't figured out, and I'm hoping to, how much you need of each color. Because I have a lot of scraps, but I don't know if I have enough of the scraps. But, you know, if I like this, then that means I can just do a bunch of color work.
I definitely have several half skeins of Cascade 2020 and several... skeins 220. What did I say?
You said 2020.
I guess I didn't get good sleep last night.
I'm thinking, are we doing an eye test?
Yeah. And I definitely have skeins and half skeins of Dream Color Smushy.
That would be nice too.
Is Smushy the worsted weight one?
Classy.
Yeah.
Smushy's the sock?
Smushy is the sock, I think.
It? Yeah, I think so.
Classy. I have a lot of worsted weight scraps. So I'm just going to go, like I said, I'm going to pull out my scrap bag and I'm going to pull out my worsted bag. And I'm going to see what I got and look at it with the speckled yarn, which happens to be out because, yes, I still have not put away the yarn that I bought at Maryland Sheep and Wool in April, just so you know. So,
no judgment here.
I have a laundry basket full of stuff that needs to go into my stash that was either pulled out, used, and it's a partial skein, or stuff that I bought that never got into the stash. So that hat, and then my next pair of socks on the needles. I was hoping that I was gonna get my Fiber Nymph, but then I realized it's a pre-order that will go out on December 1st, so I'm not gonna get that until December 1st. So I will be casting on, what is it called? You Know Nothing, Jon Snow, which is after that show, Game of Thrones. And it's white birch fiber arts, self-striping. And I like it because it reminds me of a sock monkey, which is why I bought it. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know anything about Jon Snow.
I don't even know who Jon Snow is. Is he the short guy?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh no, the little person? No, his name starts with a T. And I only know that because of memes that I've seen on the internet. Like,
okay.
I haven't actually watched an episode. My husband read all of the books, so he really likes this story, but I don't know anything about it. But I really like the colors of this, and I had to throw away my other Sock Monkey yarn socks because they had holes in them. So this will replace them.
Oh. Yeah, last week, the side note, last weekend, I'm working this weekend, so last weekend I was saying to myself, all right, I'm going to sit down and fix all my things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
So do you have any future dates?
I got to find a skein to cast on for socks. Other than that,
so that's pretty much it. You've got a lot going on. Oddly, I have one project on the needles.
Well, I only have
you
two,
have
really.
A couple of things going on.
3. I take that back. I have my shawl. I have to do that shawl.
This kind of like the
but the hats hopefully
bizarro world where I have one project and you
hopefully
have 3.
the hats will go quick.
Oh, the
once
hats
I figure this one out, this will go quick.
That hat should go very quickly once you get.
I gotta work on I gotta work on the stranding though. I'm getting better. I just don't want it to go too tight.
You want to just give it.
Now, did you read her notes?
Yes.
When she said finger, like you're going over this, like we'll discuss it later, I guess.
I'm going to tell you my tip for it. When I do color work, this is my tip. I take the stitches that I've just been knit and I spread them out quite far. And I spread them out quite far here so that when I go to work it, it's really stretched out. And that helps give you that extra length so that when they go back together like they're supposed to be, there's a little room. So just make sure that your stitches, especially on the right-hand side, if you're a right-handed knitter, it won't work if you're left-handed. The stitches, let's put it this way, the stitches that you've just knit, keep them stretched out because you'll be carrying a yarn from like over here, and if it has to go across this to get knit, it's much longer than if it has to go across this.
Right.
So it gives you that extra room. And another tip that someone told me that is really good advice is to turn it inside out and do the color work from the inside.
Yeah, I saw that tip.
There are issues with that, but
I don't think I could do that.
You can do it that way, and that
I don't think that will be an issue for. I don't think that will be an option for me. I mean, Susan B. Anderson gives you 3 different options, I believe.
Yeah.
And I know
does she give you the inside out one too?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I probably skipped that section. But
I don't think that one would be for me. But
it's a perception thing. It's you're knitting on the wrong side. You can make mistakes that way, but it depends on what you feel comfortable with. Somebody told me that's how they make colorwork socks so that they have enough stretch. Every time I've ever made a colorwork sock, it's been too tight.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do a colorwork sock.
Yeah, I cannot get my tension
right enough.
Right.
However you want to call it.
But with worsted weight colorwork, I don't have a problem. So it's just with...
I did make colorwork socks.
You did?
For my sister-in-law.
That's
before
right.
she was my sister-in-law. But it was just the cuff, and I somehow did it right because it was worsted.
Yeah, see, worsted weight, it's easier for me to keep at loose tension. I don't know why. I think with sock yarn, the needles are so small, and I just did not have a lot of joy. Remember I made those dinosaur socks, and I did one with the dinosaurs, and it was so cute, but the colorwork was really tight, so the second one didn't have any dinosaurs on it.
What'd you end up doing with those?
I still have them.
Oh, all right.
I wear them sometimes. They are not some of the ones that were casualties in the Great Moth War of 2014, fortunately. So that's it for futures dates. Baubles and Bling, I don't have anything.
I don't either.
Like I said, I will have some yarn from Fiber Nymph, but I realized it is a pre-order, so I have to wait for it to be dyed.
I will be getting my last shipment of Blue Moon probably the beginning of December. And I showed you the inspiration board.
Yeah.
I think it's going to... I won't say. It's going to say what I thought it was going to be, but that would be spoiling. So I'm not going to say that. So that... We'll see. Other than that, I don't plan on having anything. Christmas is coming, I suppose.
Yeah. I didn't go to New Hampshire Sheep and Wool New England Fiber Festival this weekend.
I hope you didn't go to New Hampshire Sheep and Wool.
Yeah, that would have been kind of a blowout.
Yeah.
So I didn't spend any money on yarn this weekend, which is good. So no Baubles and Bling this week. That's probably a good thing. Crushes and heartbreaks. My crush is I am basically done with the diagnostic portion of the Weight Center program. So the next visit that I go to, we will start talking about what my plan's going to be and when that's going to happen and what kind of things I'm going to do. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll happen at the end of November. And my other crush is that I found a guy to do the bathroom tile, and he's coming the day before Thanksgiving. So the tile will be done the day before Thanksgiving. We will spend the night at my sister-in-law's house so we don't have to breathe in the noxious fumes, because I guess it smells pretty powerful. And then the next day, my husband will install the new toilet and the new sink, and we will have a brand new bathroom.
Yay!
I'm very, very excited about that. Very excited. I can't stress how excited I am about that. Very excited. And I'm trying to think if anything else happened that's noteworthy. I don't think anything else happened that was noteworthy. My mom's still here, so that's been really fun. We've been doing a lot of stuff, and the kids have the day off today, but it's kind of crummy outside, so they're holed up in the basement. And tonight I am taking my mom and the kids out to dinner because my husband has to work. So that's going to be fun for everybody. Because if I tried to cook, that would be fun for nobody. Nobody. So that's it for my crushes and heartbreak.
My crushes and heartbreaks, I'm going to start off right now. Heartbreak. Nothing still has been done at my house. I was just telling Wendy, we did get a phone call for yet another estimation.
This is her third estimate.
With the same insurance, so to speak. This is ridiculous.
Just so you know, everybody, this damage happened in January and February.
And
to
here
both
it
of
is,
us.
And here it is, almost the end of
I thought it was
November.
taking me forever. Mine got done in July. She still hasn't had anybody do anything.
So I got to
on
call them
hers.
and try and schedule something. I will say, though, our next door neighbors, they must have gotten some damage. They're finally getting their stuff worked on. So I'll give them credit to the first guy for, yes, they probably were busy. But the first people, the lack of communication really just pissed me off.
Well, right. Don't
And
keep
then-
telling me it's going to be a week later when you have to know that it's, it's not like they said it's going to be a week later and it was like 3 weeks later. It's like they said it was going to be a week later and like 4 months later it was still going to be a week later. That's just not right.
No. So I got that. We got a couple appointments for Zachary next week.
Good.
We have his follow-up for his hearing loss thing with that,
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say verbal, where the verbal cues he doesn't hear with his right ear or something like that. I was asking Cam to come. He might be able to, I'm not sure.
Where are you having that, children?
Lexington,
Oh,
yeah.
Lexington.
I don't know if he will be because the next day we have the follow-up with the genetics.
Oh, yeah.
And the follow-up with the genetics, he has to come. That's more important.
Yeah,
they need to test him. And this is the follow-up with the genetics is where we find out whether he is predisposed genetically to colon cancer based on his previous cancer
That'd
that he
be
had.
good to know.
Yes, and if he is predisposed, then we go into the baseline colonoscopies or endoscopies.
Right.
And Max then has to get tested.
Right, and then you can monitor it and you're on top
Exactly.
of it. So
Right.
that's a good thing.
It's just good to know.
Yeah, it's good. If you're predisposed to something, it's good to know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he's good about it now. He just rolls with the punches.
Right, he's used to it.
My dad will not be here for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's sad.
He's been having some back issues.
Oh, right, you told me.
So he's got a couple more weeks on the Chinese treatment that he's doing, which is herbal medicine to loosen up the muscles, and then they're going to readjust him. And he wants to stay there for that, which is absolutely understandable. We will miss
Well, if
him.
it's helping him, then...
Well, that's the thing. It is.
Then he needs it.
But you know what? That just means he might be around for Christmas.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah, it would be. So, and for Thanksgiving, we're going out.
Ooh.
We're going to the Concord Inn with my brother.
Well, that sounds nice.
He is getting his kitchen done. That's why they're not having Thanksgiving.
Yes, I'm having Thanksgiving at my sister-in-law's house, which is how I was able to have somebody do my bathroom the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I think, I'm trying to think, work has been busy. We went and saw the Peanuts movie, which, if anyone knows the Peanuts, you kind of have to follow either the TV shows or like the comic books part. I will say the Peanuts movie, here's my review of it. They did it very well. Lately, sometimes they've been taking cartoons or whatever and just destroying them. They did it I thought they did it very well, but I'm a fan of the Peanuts. If you're not a fan of the Peanuts, it doesn't make a difference.
I'm a fan of the Peanuts.
No. Books,
but not so much of the, like,
but the books,
things.
I think you would have liked this movie because it kind of goes, the little redhead girl. It was really good. It made me fall in love with Snoopy and Woodstock all over again. And, of course, Zachary fell in love with Snoopy and Woodstock. And it was just done really well. And I think what I liked the best was that Charlie Brown did not come out a loser in this one.
Oh, see? That's good. But on the other hand, he always loses.
But it's
That's the
he
whole
does
point
and he
of
doesn't.
Charlie Brown.
He does and he doesn't. Like, the football...
Yeah.
He doesn't kick the football.
Okay, that's good. I always
But
hated
he does
that.
fly a kite.
Oh, that's good.
It was done very, very well. Kudos to whoever did it. And my husband's like, well, Schultz, the guy who created it, I'm like, yeah, he's passed.
Yeah, he's long gone.
I said, whoever did it did a really good job on it and created a new fan and a newer generation, which is good.
So that's nice.
It was. We had a lot of fun. It was a Zach and me day. We went to the mall. We had lunch. And then we walked around. And then my husband went to the movie and did stuff with Max after we both had our own days out.
And they went to see Spectre, and my review of Spectre is 2 thumbs up, would watch again, not as good as Skyfall.
Really?
But if you like Daniel Craig and you like James Bond, you will like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, if you're a James Bond fan, you don't care.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of sections where you were kind of on the edge of your seat. So it was good. I enjoyed it.
I know my son loved it, which is good.
Yeah.
They saw it at the Reading. Jordan's IMAX.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they said one with...
I don't like watching movies there because the screen is too big.
Well, I don't either. But I guess this is almost like a 4D effect because I guess if there's an explosion, the seats rumble.
Yeah, I heard about that. I have a problem in the IMAX theaters because when there's a lot of action happening on the screen and it's that big, it's like you don't know where to look.
Yeah, you're going like this.
I saw the 3rd Star Wars movie, Episode 3, in IMAX, and it stressed me out because I felt like I didn't know where to look when battles and stuff were happening. I'm like, what do I... So I prefer just a regular screen. I'm also not a big fan of 3D.
I'm not either.
So I don't like to go to 3D movies.
And it's not anything but for me, a lot of it was when 3D was really, I mean, I guess 3D is still big, but Zachary didn't sit still for a lot of the movies. For me, it was not worth spending a couple of extra bucks for 3D.
For me, with 3D, I don't know if other people have noticed this.
Glasses too, so.
Well, you see everything in 3D. Like, I'm seeing my cup right now in 3D. So, in the movie, the effects are really cool for, the first 15 minutes. But then you kind of get used to it because you see 3D every day. And then it's just like watching a regular movie.
Nobody needs to see this.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes they do things like that on purpose to emphasize it, and I'm just not a fan of it. If I can see something in regular 1D or whatever they call it, that's what I pick.
I agree on that. We do not spend, and it's $2 extra for 3D. I just would rather not spend it. I'd rather just.
Did you fix the Cyclops eye?
I think so.
Let's see.
Much better.
Yes, that's much better. I like the other one though. Like if your kid that's much better.
Yeah. And this is actually, I mean, it's a little droopy, but once you put it on, it will straighten.
Right, and it's kind of good though because you said sometimes your kids like to pull it
they do
down under their nose. So
I'm like, that's not what it's meant for, but so I'm cruising on this now that I got this. I don't know if I told you, this was in timeout because I had to bind off for this and cast on for it. So it was like in a timeout because I really didn't want to deal with it. Now that it's dealt with,
you're gonna cruise through
I'm
it.
hoping so, and I think it's the right length. And at this point, I don't care.
Well, gossip and innuendo. We have officially ended festival season in New England.
Yay.
The next festival that I am aware of will be in February, and that will be Spa in Freeport, Maine.
We went last time.
So, yeah, that was fun. We had lunch with Fishnets.
Yep.
And her mom.
And Lisa, right?
And Lisa, yeah.
And I actually won something I never claimed.
Oh, yeah, that's
right.
It
was just too far up. It was at a yarn store that was close. I don't even know what it was. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to claim it because to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't going to ask them to ship it out. I didn't need anything, so.
Yeah, so that's kind of that has a nice little marketplace.
Yeah, it does.
And we have a fun time there. Oh, yeah, and we met up with Katie.
No, did we?
Jack Girl.
Yes, we did.
That's when I found out she was pregnant.
That's
and
right.
I can tell you that now because she has a baby.
Had the baby, right. And we ran into Fibrista Files, obviously.
Yeah, well, she vends up there. So, but I knew as soon as... I don't know how I knew, but I just knew instantly that she was pregnant. So that was fun to know. Her little baby's really cute.
Oh my God, he's adorable.
He is. He's very sweet. So maybe she'll be up there with her Bambino.
Yeah.
But that's not until February. So the festival thread is officially going off the blog show notes until after the New Year's when I will put up a 2016 festival schedule. Okay. That being said, if anybody knows of a festival in the New England, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island area that is... or an event, it doesn't have to be a festival, that is taking place between now and February, shoot me a note on Ravelry and I will add it to the list. I'm always looking to add events and maybe to go to them if it works out with my schedule. I like to, it's kind of fun to check out a new event because sometimes there's stuff there that I haven't seen.
Right.
Because you do, if you go to the same events in New England, you do see the same people over and over again.
Same vendors.
Same vendors, yeah. It's just, it's just the way that it is. People tend to vend within a certain mile radius of their home base. And
someday I'd like to be able to go to another one.
Yeah, Maryland is really nice. I liked Maryland because it has a couple of the big ones that I really like, but then they have all these other people that only vend in that circuit. So it feels more fresh to me.
Yep.
Whereas Rhinebeck Rhinebeck is kind of like taking everybody I've seen all year and putting it in one place. So
right.
It's not as exciting.
Right. I hear ya.
So I think that's it. Anything else? Next week we will draw a prize for the River Ganses giveaway.
Right.
And we will do a review of Spilly Jane Knits Mittens.
Which I'm looking forward to.
Me too. I like that.
That might actually... I've never done colorwork mittens. This may push me into doing it.
There are a lot of cute patterns in that book.
And the book I noticed, I think I can say this, it gives you a graph to do your own.
Yeah, you can design your own.
Pretty sure of it.
That's awesome.
Which, I'm not giving anything away. I'm pretty sure if you search free Norwegian mittens, you could get a graph on that.
Oh, yeah, you can, because I have a couple.
Yeah.
Because I've designed mittens, too, but I never published the pattern. It has a
mittens.
bunny and a carrot on it.
That's right. Did you knit them?
Yeah.
Or just design them?
I knit one, and then I had to rip it out. So I have to re-knit it. I just haven't gotten around to it. I have like 3 patterns that I did that I haven't published.
Well, this year is going to... Not this year. Maybe 2016.
Well, hopefully that'll be the year that I start getting organized on that stuff. We'll see.
Add to it.
Yep.
All right. I guess that's it.
Yep. Have a great week.
Thanks for watching. Have a good week. Knit with heart.
Bye.